open the budget, get a motion to,
Open the public hearing, and then close the
He
public
had
hearing.
plans with his wife.
How much time do you have to speak? Could you speak on the budget?
We'd be adopting at a different meeting.
Public comment.
I usually just answer questions, and just questions.
I won't be time constrained.
don't tell them that. They get, the public comment is 5 minutes.
There you go.
Right past my,
There you go. That's 4 minutes.
Well, 5 on.
No, it might be, but the budget has different rules. You have to ask the attorney.
No,
No? Same rules?
it's a resolution.
Resolution, I'm sorry, but same.
So I've got here that, okay, so we're gonna open, we're gonna get a motion and a second to open the public
You've
portion.
advertised the book, as you've advertised it, you have to advertise.
10 years ago.
So you're gonna open the public on the original budget.
Mhm.
And then you'll close that,
Right,
and then you'll adopt the amending resolution.
so we're not gonna take a, you can't take a vote on the budget until
So you
you
do.
motion until you do the amendment.
You have to do the amendment, then you have to open the public hearing again for the amendment. But the amendment doesn't do anything other than, I think we've changed it like $500. The amendment doesn't have anything, it just kind of moves stuff around.
Okay, motion and second to open the public section of the budget.
Hold the public hearing on it,
Right.
then, if,
Open our eyes.
adopt the resolution,
The budget resolution?
the amending resolution,
Right.
then hold a public hearing on the amending resolution, and then adopt the budget.
How do you have two
You have to
motions on
have-
the floor?
You have to have, we have to have a,
You make sure I have this right too, so.
you're gonna introduce, you're gonna open the meeting for the public hearing on the budget, and we advertise it like that. Then you can have a public hearing that's on the entire budget. Then you close that, and then you'll adopt the amendment resolution.
All right, so I would ask for a resolution authorizing the local municipal budget to present.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Motion second, vote. We have to open on this, or
Then you
then
open,
we're gonna have the reading.
you're gonna open after this, you open right. you'll-
Yeah, this is just so I can read it, so that I don't have to
Otherwise
read
you
the
gotta read
entire
the entire
budget.
Okay.
So, but we do need a motion, a second, and a roll call on
Yeah,
that.
you wanna pass that one, then you're gonna open the budget to the public.
All right, so you have a,
Yep, I got my thing and I gotta read right here.
all right, so you have the title to read. We'll do that, I'll open the meeting to the public, show me to come up, ask. a
She
question.
tells me I only have 5 minutes.
Oh, you can get it done in 2, I know you, you're good.
Then, after that, once everybody's had this, then we'll close that. Then you'll adopt the amendment resolution.
Okay,
Now the budget's been amended, so you have to open it up to the public the second time.
okay.
But
So
when you
we have to
open,
explain what the.
when you open it up the second time, all you have to do is take questions on the amending resolution.
Yeah, so you'll be here, you'll.
Yeah, it really, all it did is move stuff around. I think we had it.
Yeah, I don't remember doing it this way.
So I
We probably
get
have
10 minutes.
Because we had that cap where you had to move it from one place to the other.
All right, so we'll do the resolution, authorize you to read it by title only, we'll vote on that, roll call. We'll come back, I'll ask you to introduce me to the budget, we'll do that, I'll open the meeting to the public, so you'll come up, try and trip me up.
Come on! Trying to be friends.
We are friends, that's what I'm saying. But we like you, I'd be ignoring you right now.
Then you close that.
We'll close that once it's adopted, once we close the hearing, we'll vote on the budget.
No, you can't vote on the budget until after you've had the hearing
Oh,
on the
we have to
amendment.
do that, okay, so then, we'll read the resolution on that, and then we'll open it to the public again, so you can ask questions on the resolution amending the
The
budget.
amendment.
So they're only about what the amendments are, which Kevin will explain, and then once we close that,
Then you adopt it.
okay, so then I have to ask for a motion to adopt the budget after I close this. All right, so we'll vote on this resolution. After we vote on this resolution, then we're gonna vote on the budget.
Right. Well, you're gonna pass the amending resolution before you. I guess it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll get crap, like, I vote before I vote.
Can't relax that.
Yeah.
All right, so again, this is just to allow her to read it by title. We'll read it by title, open the public hearing, we'll take our. Did they put it up next to the American?
Next to the American one.
Then there's nothing to worry about.
It's all over the news and all the blogs. Lakewood Schools, Matzev.
That's why I sleep at night.
What? Can't sleep for reading the
What's all over
blogs.
the news, Mr. Klein? What's the good news?
I don't know if it's good or bad. It
What
just
is it?
makes life exciting.
Oh, Mike,
boring.
it's gotta be exciting. Really,
Yes, sir.
I'm liable to forget that I have to even make the motion
Yeah,
in a second.
I'll let you. 100%, I agree. This is the way it's gonna work. We would start with a resolution to allow Katie to read the budget by title only. I'll ask for a motion in a second. We'll take a roll call, that will be done. We'll ask Katie to read the introduction of the budget. I will open the meeting to the public, we'll take our questions. When I close the public hearing, we do not vote on the budget. We then introduce a resolution to adopt an amendment to the budget. I'll ask for a motion in a second. I'll open the meeting to the public for any questions on that particular resolution, which Kevin will be here to answer. Once that's done, once we close that, we'll take a vote on that resolution amending it. After that's done, then we're gonna ask for a motion in a second to adopt the budget.
What's the resolution?
Resolution to amend the budget because when we went for our capital, we got sort of around.
Yes.
So that's fine.
Sorry, Kevin, Frank.
Mike, wait, I do.
Yes, yeah, exactly, okay, thank you. Okay.
How's your partner?
We're getting ready to report, guys.
Tell them I said hello. 3,500 years ago, we shared offices when he first.
Is that right?
Route 37.
Mike,
of
tell them
major
my lights
traffic.
are on.
Okay.
Many, many years
That was the
ago.
one?
It was.
Did you tell that yet, though?
No, I forgot, I thought you texted me.
Yeah, all right, I'll tell
No,
them.
no.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, tonight?
No, there's tonight's the, Cherry Gala. Yes, yes. That should be interesting. I don't know. It could be interesting. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Our mic's not working.
all right, so they wanted to take it.
You got a key to it?
No, I don't.
Our mic's not working.
They've been on, but they're not working.
They're not recording. Can you
What?
hear us? Can you hear us?
Nope.
They're green, but they're not on.
Yeah, they're not.
And that's with an increased budget already.
So we have to increase it again if we want to get to 90.
That's the one, too.
You guys get this, sometimes you put this up
We
there.
have to sit up there.
Yeah.
Oh, sit up there.
I get the kiddie table.
Yes, yeah. There we go. It's working.
They're on. You're in the hot seat.
I guess I am.
That's the thing, is the next time. Yeah.
Thank you. What was it?
What did you do?
Yep, go ahead.
Ah.
You all set? All set. Okay.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, NJ-4-6, and published in the Asbury Park Press on January 5th, 2019, and revised by email on March 27th, 2019.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman, let the record reflect that Committeeman Ackerman is absent. Committeeman Delia.
Here.
Let the record also reflect that Committeeman Lichtenstein is absent. Deputy Mayor Miller.
Here.
Mayor Coles.
Here. Thank you. You all please rise for salute to the flag, please remain standing for the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Eternal God, we thank you for this day. Make us conscious of our responsibilities in our duties to the citizens of this municipality. Grant that in all public matters which has been given to us to do, our only motive may be to serve the fellow people. Continue to bless all of us in the future as you have in the past. All this we ask in thy name. Amen.
Thanks, Kate. Move open. Moved by Mike, second. Minaj, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we're back in open. Can I have a motion to approve the executive workshop and regular minutes of April 17th? Motion. Second. Moved by Mike, second by Minaj. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, there's no public land sale tonight, there are no presentations, we're gonna proceed with the budget. Can we have a motion? Katie, you wanna read that resolution?
Resolution of the Township of Lakewood, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the 2019 municipal budget to be read by title only.
We have a motion in a second. Motion. Second. Moved by Mike, second by Minaj. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes. Deputy
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Yes. All right, now we'll do with the 2019 municipal budget. Katie, would you mind reading?
Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Lakewood, County of Ocean, that the budgeted herein before set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated of the sums therein set forth as appropriations and authorizations in the amount of $64,583,434 for municipal purposes. And for school purposes, we're good.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Now I'll open the meeting to the public. If anybody would like to speak on the budget, please come forward.
Shlomo Klein. Just want to mention something that I'm seeing in this room, two things. First of all is, there's only one person in the public section. You're passing a budget with an increase, and it looks like nobody in this town cares what you do with their money, if you're increasing their taxes, how you're spending their money. Nobody is here. You're spending all the money tonight. That's when you vote, and nobody is here. Second thing I'm seeing is that even the committee, two of the committee members are not here. It's such an important night. I'm sure they have a reason for it. I'm just saying is, in such an important vote of spending the township's $100 million, I think all the committee members should be voting on it. Again, I understand that they might have different arrangements that they have to be there. Now, I just want to go into what this budget is all about. I was reading, I just got confused. The way I saw it was on a blog called Hefgewelt, and basically he gave a summary of what's going on over here. We're going to increase the taxes by a few $100 on average in each home, but there's going to be a surplus of $90 million. Could somebody explain to me is what this budget is, trying to understand how much money you're spending, how much money you're getting, and what is the surplus business all about?
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to start?
Yeah, take care of
Let the
that.
professional do it, so I get the answers right.
Total budget,
Thank you.
total budget is, total budget is $101,681,000.
That's how much you're going to spend in the year 2019.
That's correct.
And how much taxes are you going, how much income are you going to make from taxes and all other income that the township makes?
We're using $19 million of surplus, which is the surplus that we have, our savings account, if you will.
Oh, so you're depleting that account, you're just.
No, not depleting it. We have 25 million, which is very similar to what we had last year. Last year, we used a very similar amount. We used about 19 million, and we hope to restore 19 million again through, not spending all of our budget, additional revenues, sale of land, those type of things. So last year at this time, we had a very similar amount of fund balance or savings, if you will. We used 19 million to balance the budget last year, and we're doing something very similar this year with the anticipation that we'll be in a very similar position next year.
Do you still have land to sale here in Lakewood? I thought we were out of land anymore.
No, we have one.
storyline. So basically you're saying is you're going to have $101 million in revenue minus 19 that you're using from last year's.
The 19 is part of the 101 million.
That's the income that you're using. And why, how much more money are you spending this year over last year? That means is that you have to increase the cap that you are over, that means is that you're increasing the taxes for everybody, like with a few $100s on each home.
It's not a few $100, but we'll get into that in a minute. Okay.
That's how it says on Hesperville.
Sorry.
Reading the blog.
don't read
I know you don't like them, I know.
I love him, don't like
The
him.
increase is about $48 per 100,000.
How much?
About $48 per 100,000 of assessment. So a $200,000 home is gonna go up about $96.
And how much money is that totaling, how much money do you need now more than, last year, the last couple of years, you didn't increase the taxes. Actually, the value of the homes went up, but the 3 point something stayed the same. So what happened this year, how much more money do you need that you need to increase?
The budget's going up, about $5 million, going from 96 million to 101 million.
But from the other side is there's so many homes that got built last year that should account for this 5 million.
What we got into the budget.
Yeah, so.
I understand that you're going to just ask me a question. That there's probably a few hundred homes that was built over the course of the year that got finance CLOs, and they are putting into the taxes that it's about 10,000 and more on each home.
The additional homes require additional services.
So explain also, more than 50% of every dollar is going to the Board of Ed, not to the municipal services. That's
That money that comes in goes in, that's what helps to build the surplus up. That's one of the factors, along with land sales and other type things that will increase the surplus and help us regenerate it so that next year, hopefully we'll have about the same amount, we can apply that. Even, but out of that money, you know, half of it does end up going back to the schools, the county, the fire, stuff like that. So it's not all, the new houses coming on, it's not just gravy for us, for lack of a better word.
No, I understand that the new houses require more services. What I don't understand is if the increase of expenditure of the town increased by 5 million, I could assume that we got 5 million of taxes of these new homes that came up. Because
The level of, I understand what you're saying, but the level of services, if they come in, that amount of homes come in, the level of services has to rise.
I
In order for us to
understand,
maintain those levels
I
of services.
understand, so we have level of services rose because these homes, but these homes also got accumulation of $5 million in
Right.
taxes, so it should even out.
No, I understand. Yeah,
The new homes generated $1.3 million.
Oh.
1.3 million is the new assessments, the new homes that were added in new construction amounted to about $1.3 million of new taxes.
So we're missing about 4 million in,
right, but just, and if you want to touch on right, or I can touch that, just so you understand, I think what Deputy Mayor Miller was trying to explain is that, just remember, your overall tax base, there's multiple variations, you have municipal tax, county tax, fire tax, library, and school tax. School tax is roughly 50% of what's being put in, is taken and sent to them. Don't forget that.
so I'm just going to conclude what I'm understanding, and hopefully understanding it right. We could assume that for every few hundred homes that we're building this town, we get an increase in expenditure, and we're not balancing that out with the taxes that is coming in. So we're losing of every year from the new construction about 4-point-something million that has to be divided by the rest of the town, because we see in this year the expenses went up because of this new services that these new homes required. If it's a Board of Ed, special ed, and then you have garbage pickup, police, and all that, more people, more expenses. But we're not gaining that expenses from the income from these units. So that means is, I'm just simply calculating it, the more homes means more taxes for everybody.
Not necessarily.
Even if there's no houses being built right now, there's still contractual agreements that therefore
be. Some of the-
necessitate an increase.
Right, some of the things, you know, which happened this year, the addition of all the police officers, the addition of additional public works, that's the first time we've had to do it. That will even out over the next couple of years. It's not gonna be a new expense that we have to go for next year.
What do you mean, in addition for police officers?
We had
More
13
people, you
we
need more
had
police
13
officers.
Well, you're not gonna have to add 13 police officers every year. We have a target, which we're very close to for our projection going out for several years. Same with Public Works, by the addition of the third shift that we're bringing in here, a lot of things that we now have to pay for from other people will be able to do in-house. And we're not gonna have to go out and hire an additional third shift every year. We may have a little bit of an increase, but a couple of things hit us this year that weren't on the budget last year. The police officers, we were hoping would have been brought in last year to help, you know, mitigate some of that increase, but they weren't. So.
Why not? Because you wanted to claim that you didn't increase taxes, and now you didn't have
No,
to say.
to be honest with you, Shlomi, I think that over the last couple of years, we should have raised it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Expenses go up, health insurance goes up, contributions that we have to pay for the pensions for people who work here go up. Capital improvements, things that we have to do for the town that aren't always a recurring expense, but when they come up, we have to deal with them. Those kind of things. If we had raised up a little bit over the last couple of years, you wouldn't see as big or even an increase like this there. So we're looking going forward that, you know, we've made these investments in people and in material and improvements that hopefully the tax rate next year will be mitigated and we won't have to go in for another increase or another, rate.
Just a small, I'm just finishing up. This is an argument that is made by certain activists and people that speak up. They claim is that you increasing housing in Lakewood increases the taxes for everybody. Now, I understand is that both committee members basically are arguing is that that's not necessarily true. The increase of expenses goes up just by the economy, just by things happening, and you just have to increase expenses. Health insurance goes up, and salaries go up. There's certain stuff that goes up automatically, the taxes would have gone up. I just was asking as a professional, you know, they are politicians, they have to say what they're saying. Is I'm asking you as a professional, as you're looking at this budget, what is your opinion on that? If there would not be an increase in housing in Lakewood, would the tax levy have, I'm pronouncing good, the tax levy that you're raising the tax rate would have gone up so drastically like it's going up now? I'm not saying it's drastically, I'm just saying is, the concept of more housing brings more taxes.
I think we reached a point where we needed to make some changes. I mean, we needed to add police and we need to add public works. I don't think this is gonna be a reoccurring thing. I think we reached a point where we just simply needed the third shift of public works. I don't think it's gonna be something that if we add the same amount of houses next year, we're gonna be in the same spot. I think we're filling our police needs, we're filling our public works needs. So it may look like that, what you're saying, but I don't think if we add the same amount of housing the next couple of years, you're not certainly gonna see an increase like this. I think we've kind of reached the point where we needed to add a third shift, we needed to add more officers, and now I think we're probably set for the next, foreseeable future.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Evening, guys. Dana Kermitz, Cathedral Drive. I'm coming to you tonight because I got a situation,
Is
and
this about the budget? Okay, this is only for the budget.
that's my
As soon as we finish this, I'll open it up again.
Okay, that's
All right, no problem. Anybody else like to be heard on the budget?
It could come again.
Could, but we're not. All right, we'll close the public hearing. All right, before we vote on the budget, we have to adopt a resolution for the amendment to the 2019 municipal budget. So Katie, would you read that, please?
Resolution of the Township of Lakewood, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, adopting an amendment to the 2019 municipal budget.
Thanks, have a motion? Moved by Mike. Second. Second by Minaj. Before we vote on it, I will open the meeting to the public. Anybody has any questions on the amendment, please come forward, state your name.
that's my job. 5 of the last 6 meetings, you had a gentleman here destroying their way of life. And they do nothing, they don't bother anybody. On Memorial, closed Blue Cross Stadium now. get rid of them, this is Jewish law, it's supposed to be Jewish law. You guys don't see nothing, so. Yet this rise up Ocean County, you guys go after them tooth and nail, and I understand some of the things that are said on there are wrong. Why is nobody saying anything to this guy, or even just saying, listen, we're against this, why, why can't you say something? Because they're community members, they pay their taxes on time, they don't bother nobody. And you guys, you just sit here and you look at them. Is this guy sitting here just like tearing these people up? It's just a different way of life, they're good people. Can you come out with something by next committee meeting or the one after that? Just decry what this guy was saying. You do that for me, or for us, or the town?
Anything else?
Last thing, for years, I've been fighting to put fencing up on my property. The lady over at the inspection, or whatever, that issues the permits. Years ago, she said, yeah, you can get a fence up there. I went down, went for my permit, no, it's a 30 by 30 foot site triangle, you're on a corner. All right, when we did all my budget, went down, no, it's a 30 by 100 foot because you're on the county road. All right, when I did my budget, I'm like, no, it makes no sense. There's a big chunk of my backyard out in the middle of nowhere that I can't use. And the main reason I wanted the fence is because people are cutting through my property all the time. If there's an accident out there, it's a big party out in my backyard. Last week, I took some sticks and some leaves down to the recycling center. I have to come back up 88 because of the mess on Sunset Avenue, which I didn't realize how bad Sunset Road was. I'm coming up 88, you have 6-8 foot fences right up to the corner of the streets. I come down County Line Road, fences right up to the corner, and I am observing the 30 by 30 site triangle. Why can't I have a fence? You can buy my yard. That's all I want. When I said to them, I said, I'll do a chain link, as much as I hate chain link. I'll go for a split rail, because they're saying for site triangle, so people can see at the signalized intersection, which I don't understand. Can I get a permit? Well, all these other people are getting much more than what I even wanted. It's not fair. And I think that's where a lot of the people having problems with Lakewood, they see stuff like this. I have people ask me all the time, how can you live there? I said, I love this town. I grew up here. I went to school here. I work here. But it's getting tougher and tougher because you watch everybody else getting this stuff. There's a certain woman on my street, who you know, certain senator's ex-wife, who is probably one of the most biased people I know. She comes down, she patrols our street all the time. The only people she calls on is myself and my neighbor.
Wrap it up a little bit, please.
Just my street's a mess right now. She doesn't say nothing. I need somebody to come out there, look at that, look at the grass that I've always told that my grass is too high. County Road's a mess, all the houses. Have them do their job. I'm tired of getting blamed for something that I'm not doing.
No, go ahead, I'll answer your questions. We've been having a conversation about those little signs. I've been against them for a long time. We had thought that by having people get permits for them, it would reduce the amount. Hasn't worked. We're actually discussing repealing that ordinance and eliminating them altogether. So that when they are popped out there, people will pick them up, they'll get tossed, and hopefully people will get the word that if you continue to put them out, you're just throwing money away. Because I agree, certain times, certain things you have to allow, election time, I think you have to allow stuff. It should be on private property. So we are looking at that, hopefully within the next meeting or so, we'll have something on to eliminate them.
Okay.
As far as your neighbors, I mean, I don't look at people as gay people, straight people, white people, black people. I mean, people you judge on how they act and who they are and how you treat each other. I disagree with the gentleman that comes up here all the time. I don't want to make assumptions about people, but I don't know that calling him out like that would do any good, because I don't know if he understands exactly what he's saying. I don't think he means to be hateful. I think he's just taking things and saying things that probably I definitely disagree with. I would prefer, and I've talked to him privately about it. I would never allow for anybody to discriminate against somebody, again, based on their sexual identification, their race, their religion, anything like that. Hate speech is hate speech and has no place in our society or anywhere else.
Correct.
As far as your fence goes, A lot of people, you may see those fences like that, didn't apply for permits. I have a couple that I'm actually in the process now of having fences moved because of the fact that the side triangles are so violated that people just can't see, because we've had complaints about accidents and stuff. If you can get me, again, your address, the information and whatnot, I'm happy to work with our inspection department and see what we can do about getting something that'll work for you out there, so that you do have an ability to enclose your yard and enjoy it, and not have to worry about people coming through. So if you get me that information, I'll work with you, I'll see what we can do. I can't promise you anything, because again, if it's on a county road, we don't have jurisdiction, but I'm happy to go down there on your behalf and see if we can get something like that.
Okay. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but will you actually do that? Because I came before you last year.
Yeah, if you give Katie the information, we'll take care of it.
I came before you last year, I sat over here, spoke to you personally, I've spoken to everybody except for Mr. DeLeo on this council. Things over years, I've left my name and number, I went upstairs with Mr. Ackerman, left my name and number, email address with my neighbor. I sat over here with you last August.
What we talked about was the, property, maintenance and stuff at that point, right?
What it was is when they redid Cathedral Drive, the only curbing that got fixed was down by where the Jewish school owns property. No one else has got fixed. Kind of looks weird. I asked you about on my corner between Cathedral and Hope, and I understand they had that little walk down so people that don't fall. I get that, I'm all for it. They destroyed one of my trees. They came in here and just chopped it away, and they didn't even have the decency to take the stuff with them, they threw it on the property. You're gonna talk to, his name, the guy that runs the inspection department or whatever. And again, I was getting every year, I get summonses for my grass being too high. I prove over and over again that my grass is fine. It's to the point this year, every week I'm going out and taking pictures of my property now. Since the grass started growing, I've cut it twice already. Just so I have proof, because next time, I'm gonna lose my mind over this, because it's not fair. Two houses down from me, they've been rehabbing the house, just the inside, for over 2 months now. There's garbage all over the place. My neighbor's folks, he told me 5 times, I can't attest to it, because I'm just by his word. Nothing's happened. The place is a dump. Garbage is flying into our yards now.
I did get a call about Cathedral today, and I spoke to Pat about it, and we already spoke to the inspections department to get people out there to see what we can do about cleaning up some of that mess. I was told that there are some properties that the maintenance is being done properly. We're gonna look at that too. If you hear at the end, did I give you my cell phone number the last time?
I got your cell phone, I got your email, I got
Okay, call me.
everything. Okay.
All right, call me. If I drop the ball on something, I apologize for that, but there's a lot of stuff going on, my own business, everything else, so I apologize for not catching up to you with the curbing issue last year. But call me, and you have my word, I'm not gonna just ignore your phone call. We'll see what we can do about the fence issue, and I'll see if we can do something about maybe getting the curb straightened out.
And again, it wasn't just you, it was.
No, but you know what, I take responsibility for me, when I make a mistake, I'll admit it, and again, I apologize for that. Give me a second chance, and we'll get it done, okay?
I'm fair with that.
I will.
I would like to follow up on the last meeting that we had over here. That we had a back and forth with the mayor. And the mayor accused me, or some people, that he can't get people on the boards, because nobody wants to get on the boards, be in the planning, zoning, the other boards. And I was thinking into this whole situation. And this is what I got. You're looking for 1% of the residents of Lakewood. Means it's 99% of people in Lakewood, if they would have come on the boards, they would have looked what is good, and they wouldn't have looked for servicing the developers. We're looking to put people on the board that they are looking to service the developers. And how do I test that? You know, you're always saying is, why are you making these type of accusations? How do you know that? Where do you have proof on that? My test is when it comes to sidewalks. When I see a board member The developers, for some reason, the developers in Lakewood hate sidewalks, it's costing them money. When I see a board member is advocating that it shouldn't be sidewalk, I know his agenda is to serve as the developer, because it makes no sense in such a town to go against sidewalks. Now, we have Justin Flensbaum, I'm calling him out by the name because he was a big advocate not to have sidewalks in certain parts of town. He advocated to get a guy in Bruce Stern, he's actually is now the new chairman when it comes to the Eagle Ridge. And something very interesting happened. There's another guy on the planning board, Mr. Sable. He is actually advocating very strong for sidewalks. And when it came to Eagle Ridge, when it's dealing with the biggest developer in town, the guy that has the most influence, he's gone. He's not on the board. For some reason, he's not there. And who is the person that is the chairman? Bruce Stern. Now, last night, by the planning board, there was a strip of 100 feet that the developer wanted to get a waiver for that sidewalk. And Mr. Sable was advocating and saying his people walk over there, including his wife, in that the sidewalk is needed. And Bruce Stern was very blunt that the township will never fill in the rest of the sidewalks, they'll never do it, and we shouldn't ask the developer to do his part 100 feet. And I was like, shocked. What? After all what we went through, all these arguments, that sidewalks is needed, not only you mayor, advocating for it, the rest of the committee, I was by the county, they told me is, in Lakewood, there's county roads, in Lakewood, there's no such a thing as a county road, we will say is no sidewalks. So, the fact is that we have a planning board member still advocating for not sidewalks, and he's just a newcomer on the board. That is very troubling. Yes, I found out he didn't take yet the course, the state course that you have to take by the planning board. He has 18 months, so he might not know what he's doing on the board. He might think is that he just has to give the developers what they want, but it's not acceptable. Mr. Sable is advocating for sidewalks because he's a solo member. He works in emergencies. He sees what happens when there's no sidewalks, so good for him that's advocating for it. But I think you should have a talk, I don't know how, but relay that message that anybody, anyone that will go against sidewalks in Lakewood should not be on the board.
Very good.
You have a comment on that?
A few, yeah. I have to get the specifics as to what the thinking was on that, and I'll look into that. I agree. I also will say that there's never 100% on anything. As much as I want to advocate for sidewalks, there have been issues sometimes where not having a sidewalk in a particular area made sense. So I'm not going to presume that he's doing it for any particular reason until I have an opportunity to have a conversation, which I'll do with the planning board attorney, I should say. But going back to your original comment, and I think it kind of ties into what Dana was saying a couple minutes ago, which is that the speech that's out there and people are being put through on blogs, whatever, it's not right. It's not who we are. Somebody shouldn't worry about accepting a position on a board for the town or even running for township office because they're afraid that their family is going to be put through hell by the comments, a lot of them false, misleading, to try and keep people from doing it. It's not right. I disagree with it. I'm not blaming you for that. All I'm saying is, as a people, we should be able to do a lot better than that. As a town like Lakewood, given our history, given who we are, and how we're made up, the population of this town, we should be fighting anything that hurts people or denigrates people without explicit proof. And even then, these blogs and stuff, I just think, whether it be Rise Up Ocean County or some of the other ones, they have no place in our society. I think that as a people, we should ignore them. And if we have an issue with somebody, we should talk to them face to face. Or come to a meeting like you do today. Put yourself out there, you name your address, people know who you are, and we can have an honest conversation. Again, like I said, whether we disagree 95 or 99% of the time.
I thought we agree 95% of the time.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if we agree or disagree, we can still have a civil conversation, we can have a laugh with each other, and we can look each other in the eye and shake hands at the end of the day. That's the kind of place that we want this town to be. We can disagree, but we can still get along, we can put our points forward without having to use foul language or denigrate anybody for any reason. That's the only point I was trying to get across to you.
So do you need help with getting people on the boards?
I'll let you know.
Because I know a lot of individuals that wanna be on the board, they have no problem.
I'm always willing to talk to somebody. I've never refused to meet with anybody who's interested in working on a township.
Except for Robinson.
Who?
Rob Robinson.
He's never asked me to serve on the board. I would never turn it down for anything.
I won't put you the words now is, but I'll show you in the beginning of 2018, my minutes is up. 2018, actually, Mr. Tom Gaddy came up and asked you, why didn't you put Rob Robinson on the board that they asked you? And you answered, he's a divider. And that's the reason why you don't want him on the board. A few months later, he was attacked. I'm not blaming you for it, but no, I'm not.
Okay. Time's up. We'll have another conversation, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else like to be heard? We'll close the public session, because we already left, I was gonna call this minute and go. All right, is there anything that anybody would like removed from the consent agenda? If not, can I have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second. Second by Minaj. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Yes. All right, we have no ordinances for second reading, we have no ordinances for first reading. Is there any correspondence?
None.
All right, so I have a motion to approve the bill list.
Move.
Second by Mike, second by Minaj. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes,
Mayor Coles?
Yes. Any comments from committee members? None?
I just want to put on the record that I've spoken to, Pat Donnelly, the municipal manager, with regard to seeing the feasibility of making a dedicated right turn, left turn, and the Williams to James of Wheat Shop, County.
Great, thank you. Mike?
No, I think you said it all, Mayor. I want to believe it was very excellent, but
I have nothing, so I'll consider a motion to adjourn.
So maybe?
Moved by Minaj, all in favor? All right. Good night, everybody. Everyone safe.
Do you want me to take it down for you, Mayor? Or you gonna- his name and address and
No.
phone number? You're good?
Just,
Hold on, let me get